Good morning, Facebook. Grace and peace to you all. The soul is the mind, will, and emotions. And he gave me this beautiful vision this morning of, it's almost like the prodigal son, where the father is on the porch when he sees his wayward son a long way off. And the son made a decision of the will to come back home to the father. And I believe that everything comes, our closeness with God is through the gateway of our will. That we make a decision of our will to come back home to the Father and be reconciled to Him, to be made whole and complete in Him. Or we can choose to remain apart from Him, autonomous, living a life centered in self. All the while, the Father's heart is for His children to come back home and be His. And we're given free will because without free will, there is no love. It's a loving choice to come back home and be His. He gives us over to our own, through sin, we are given over to our own desires and all that kind of stuff. And yet He's always saying, come back home to me. And we have the key to the gate to get back home to Him if we choose to use it and come back home and not live autonomous, not live self-centered and self-seeking and self-glorifying. We're actually able to come through that gateway and be His and be loved and be restored and be reconciled and no longer live a life centered in self but in Him. So then everything in our life looks different. The way we view other people, we don't judge other people anymore because we know the grace of God and we've been overwhelmed by His love, mercy, and grace so that we see people in a different light. You know, it's the same light as Jesus on the cross as they're killing Him saying, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. Someone that lives their life autonomous or separate from God is going to be living a life centered in self. But if we are in Him, we are no longer empty and broken. We've been restored and healed and made whole and made complete in Him. His desire for you is to come home and be His fully and experience the fullness of His unconditional love for you, that so you're able to walk in a new way. But the key is in your will. Do you want to come back home and be His, or do you want to remain autonomous and be your own? We hold the key to the fullness of God in our hearts, right? Do we desire to come back home and be His or remain autonomous? That is your choice. But come to me, all who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Rest for your soul. Yoke yourself to me. Learn my ways, right? So that's His desire for you, to come back home and be His. Choose that path. It's beautiful. 44 years of my life I lived autonomous, separated from God, even in church, because I was still striving to receive love and acceptance from God instead of just coming back home by a decision of my will and being His fully. Trust in Him, not in yourself. Be overwhelmed by His grace, love, and mercy, and you'll never be the same. May God bless you today. May you make a decision of the will to be His and experience all the fullness of God. God bless y'all.